The Tourism Business Council of South Africa has denied that any deal has been finalized with comedian Trevor Noah to promote the country. Earlier, there were reports that a deal worth some 33 million rand had been signed with Noah. Ahmed Kajee spoke to the CEO of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa, Chifiwa Chivengwa, as the Tourism Leadership Conference wrapped up at Sun City today.
The Tourism Leadership Conference has wrapped up here at Sun City after 2 days of dialogue between stakeholders within the tourism sector. A large part of the dialogue involved tourism growth heading into the next year. This as tourism numbers have surpassed pre-COVID-19 levels. There were also discussions around safety for tourists, as well as visa-free countries and e-visas for people wanting to come into South Africa. I'm now going to bring into the conversation the Tourism Business Council of South Africa's CEO, Chifiwa Chivengwa. Thanks very much, Chifiwa, for your time today. Just take us through 2 days of successful dialogue between role players within the sector.
Well, there's been 2 successful days of leaders within the tourism industry discussing matters that are critical to the growth of tourism. We have a target that we need to reach. We need 15.7 million tourists by 2030. We are tracking quite well now for this year compared to 2019. So things are looking good, but we need to do more to accelerate that growth. So we have discussed issues around visa. How do we make sure that the e-visa works properly? How do we make sure that we have more visa waivers from different countries? And how do we market ourselves, in those source markets to make sure that we get more tourists coming to South Africa? And more importantly, how do we sustain tourism here in South Africa? Because when tourists come here, we need a sustainable environment for tourists to be able to enjoy from the biodiversity. We also dealt with issues around SMMEs, communities. How do we make sure that everyone is involved, including young people that are critical in the growth of this industry? Of course, we discussed the outcomes from last year's conference in terms of what we said we're going to do, where are we today, how we're tracking on those things. So we are moving at a far greater pace than what we were in the past.
A proudly South African export in the form of Trevor Noah. We believe there's a partnership to bring him on board to bring tourists into South Africa. Just take us through that. We believe, according to media reports, the figure was around 33 million rand.
Well, we've issued a statement around that. We are talking to Trevor Noah's team. There is no such figure. The talks are in the infancy stage. We're trying to figure out how we can collaborate, how we can use him as one of our own icons to market South Africa. We're not going to reach the 15.7 million by doing traditional things. We need to do things better. We're talking to other people as well. And we're thinking of various campaigns that may involve other South African institutions that are doing better outside of the country so that we can attract people to come into South Africa. So there are no such figures. We issued a statement around that. We are talking and we're talking to more people and we'll continue to talk. Our job is to promote tourism, to grow tourism, and some of the noises around that are there, we're not going to pay attention to that. We've had a successful conference. We're going to continue to do the work that we said we're going to do. We're going to accelerate on things that we said we're going to do. The noises are just the noise, and the discussion are ongoing. We're going to continue, and there are multiple people that we're talking to on various projects that we're going to run. And by the way, we have funded many projects in the past, and we'll continue to do so. We are a private sector organization. We report to the board. From myself, and go to the AGM, and we do things based on that, just like any other private company that deals with things. This has nothing to do with government or any public money or anything like that. We are doing things for ourselves as a private sector, tourism association, and industry at large to make sure that we reach the figures. We've been doing this for many, many years, and we'll continue.